Okay, I'm back. I wanted to show you how I was working towards the other end and how it is already just twisting. So when I saw my teacher working on hers a while back, I said, how do you get it to twist like that? And she says, it just does it on its own. I guess it's the length. It just starts twisting on itself. I don't know. But anyway, it seems to be working. And I just wanted to show you what I was doing with the end and give you alternatives. So here's where I started the caps and left them hanging. And you can certainly cut them here. But I kind of wanted those gold caps on. I didn't want to have to go across it, but you know, I think it's going to hold it tighter, and I don't mind having these yellow gold caps in there. So I just wanted to mention one of the hardest things is, you know, getting in here and doing your 5 wraps or 4 wraps that you need to do, or short stitches. So if you're actually doing it like you would a regular wrap, if I'm doing a regular wrap, I'm just going to sit here and do it over the top. Now, if you're in a tight corner like this, it's a lot harder to do because you're going to be hitting these little ends. So the easiest way I found to do it was to just take my needle and go down through there, try to separate a little bit and do it that way. So do what you prefer or whatever's easiest for you. I'm going to go ahead and decide whether I'm going to attach across here, which I think I will do. But I'll show you, I'll get wrapped all the way up around here, and I've already dampened these and tried to maneuver them so they can go around the other side. So I think I will do a long stitch here, and I'll just match up the long stitches on the other side. Okay, I'll show you when I get a little further along. I hope those little tips help. I was having issues. You want to stay on the far side of the stitch. So for me, that's the left side when you're going back down through, because this side is going to be seen as well. The back side is going to become the front side eventually. So you want it to look really clean. So do whatever you need to do to make it look nice and clean. Just learning all kinds of little tidbits here. So I'll show you as I get a little bit further along. Okay, I've wetted the coil and made it all the way around, trying to cover all the pine needles. And I want this coil to match straight up with this one. And I guess I'm just gonna go straight across through here. I just want the same line, and I'm just winging it here at this point, people. So they didn't break. They're pretty snug in there, but I had to keep wetting them to get them to go around that corner and kind of mess with them. So I am going to put 4 or 5 stitches, try to get them in there snug, and I'm holding this really tight here. It is a bit difficult because one side is twisted, and okay, so I went on this side. This looks like it's about even. I will go down through here without going through. Just try to snug that up there. And I really need to add pine needles. I kept losing my thread here. But I want to get this tied down so that I don't lose it. So I think I'm going to continue that pattern and just go on this right side of that. But I need to add pine needles. So that's how it's looking. I'll snug it up, work these around, and then I will continue this same pattern on this side. Now at some point, now see how, yep, that's gonna twist. Oh, this is gonna be really fun. So at some point I have to decide if I wanna keep going across or if I wanna attach through the actual coil of pine needles. I usually do not attach through the coil because the pine needles could break, but in this instance, they are wrapped, so they probably won't. So I'll see. I want to get a little bit further and continue the same pattern, and then I'll decide what to do. But look, it's going to keep twisting like that. Okay, well, I will continue to show you as I get a little further along. I just wanted to show you how I did that end. Now, if you don't like the little tip in there, you can cut it off or you can wrap right over it, whichever you prefer to do. So I am not showing you how to start and stop thread because I assume if you're working on this type of a basket, you've already learned how to wrap a row and start and stop your thread. So if you need to learn that, I've had many other videos showing that. So send me a message and I'll send something to you. So that is really looking twisted so far. I'm gonna keep working around. I won't show you the ends again because I've showed you both ends, and I will just show you what it looks like as we get further along. Okay, thanks for watching. So I just wanted to show you how cool this is looking. So we started here. There's my tail that I kept in there with the caps. And then it twisted around. And then we went this way. And then we twisted around and went this way. And now I guess I'm on my 4th row. And the pattern is working very well. It's just waffle cone or something. I don't know. It looks really cool though. I love how it's working. So I'm just continuing to follow my previous pattern, snugging everything up, adding thread as we normally do, hiding the tail and the coils. And I'm still using my little, these yellow pine needles because they're very pliable and it made it easier to get around the corners. So, you know, if you have really dry pine needles, it's going to be tough, but just soak them. Or if you have some glycerin, I would recommend using those. So I'm going to go on with the pink color for about, well, it's raspberry sherbet. I'm going to go on with this for about 6, maybe 8 rows. I'm not sure. We'll see what it looks like. And then I'll start building on that and probably switch to a different color of thread. But I just wanted to show you how it was looking in case you're working on yours and wondering what should be happening. It really is getting twisted all by itself. So thanks for watching. I'm pretty happy with this outcome. I just keep looking at the pattern and how well it matches up. I really love it. So thanks for watching, and I'll show you, of course, as we get further along. I'm back, and I'm so excited about how this is turning out. Look at that beautiful twist, and I love this pattern. So I'm on my about 5th, 6th row. So I think that I'm just going to finish off with this raspberry sherbet. just finish off with what I have left. And then I'm thinking I am going to do one solid row of this rainbow. I don't know. I wish it had pink in it, but I don't know. I think I might do that. Or I was thinking of going with this lime green, one solid row, and then just start with basic stitching, just the regular stitch. I don't know. I love this lime green, but I also love this rainbow. Maybe I'll put one row of the lime green and then transition into this rainbow. This is a flat thread. I love the colors, but it the needle always falls off, so I have to be careful with that. Anyway, I just wanted to show you how nice it was turning all on its own, and I love the stitch. I could probably go and create maybe 8 rows, but I think I'll stick with 6. We'll see. We'll see what happens next. But I want to show you the ends here. And we're getting a glare. I guess this is just very pink, very bright. So on the first row that I went around, I added just 1 stitch, and that seemed to hold it just fine. And then on the next row, I added 3 new stitches on each side, and it held it just fine, and it flows with the pattern. It looks good. So I will probably do the same on this end. I'll just go ahead and go in here as I'm attaching it when I go around, and I'll be using a different color. So I really have to think about that, because if I use the same stitch, it's going to be going over the top. And so what color do I want to go over the top, and what pattern is it going to create? I don't know. I'll have to think about it a little bit. But I'll keep showing you as I go along. I love the twist. I just don't want to stop working on it. But it's 4th of July, and we're going to head out to a barbecue. So I will show you a little bit further on. I'll have to record this in sections because it doesn't upload unless it's about 12 minutes or so. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a great 4th of July. Virginia here with Jenny Lee Gems. I'm continuing to work on this Twisted Sister pine needle basket. I'm loving how it's coming out. So I started working with this rainbow thread. First I added a lime green just to try to set off the pink. And then this rainbow thread I thought matched better with the lime green here as opposed to the pink. So anyway, that's my thoughts. So a few things I wanted to mention: adding stitches around the corners. As you get around the corners here, obviously they're going to get bigger because the basket's getting bigger. But you need to add some stitches to hold the ends down. So they're kind of like ghost stitches. They're free floating here. So if you notice, these are the original stitches, how we put the 2 first coils together. And then it just continued all the way out. But as I got here near the end, let me get a better pointer. As I got here near the end, we needed some extra stitches. So here you could see I started adding 1 long stitch at the end. And then I just followed that same pattern, and it curved a little. Now when I got up to the 4th row here, there was a lot of space between the stitches. So I added another little ghost stitch to kind of hold everything together there. There's one there too, you can see as well. And then I guess those are the 2. So I started here and then added here. Now as it gets bigger, I will continue to do that. So I do have, sorry, I dropped my basket. I do have these lines now to follow as I move further out. So that's something you want to keep an eye on. The other thing is I'm using this flat thread. It's a rainbow thread. I've only found it in flat. I do have issues with keeping my needle on. It just tends to fly off on this flat thread. But so here I wanted to mention that as you pull down in here, a lot of times this thread turns. And so you kind of have to flatten it out if that bothers you. I mean, you really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. It's your basket. But as my father told me when I was leaving the house at 18, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do except die and pay taxes. And I thought he was crazy at the time, but as I get older, I realize he was telling the truth. You really don't have to. You just do what you want to do. So anyway, those are my little tips on getting around the corner, and if you're using flat thread, straightening it out. And the other thing I wanted to mention is about adding pine needles. So generally, we add pine needles shiny side out, the big flat side in the middle of the coil. But as you're going around the corners, I wouldn't suggest adding too many pine needles because the coil starts getting too thick and it's hard to bend it around that corner. These needles work fine. As I said, that, you know, they have been treated with glycerin, so they work great. But if you feel like your tail is getting really thin and you're concerned it's going to be too thin along here, it's not going to match up, you can go in and try adding the pointed side in first. And that way it gives you a thinner needle part around the corner, but then it'll get thicker here. So you'll manage to keep your tail the right amount of thickness. So I hope that helps. Just kind of remember, going around the corner, slow down like you would do in driving, and then pick back up your speed. So slow down your thickness a little bit. Just don't keep adding as many needles as you normally would, and then pick it back up as you're going back around the corner. So that's just a little suggestion, free to do what you want. That's just kind of what I've noticed, and it made it a little easier on me. So as it gets bigger, obviously it's going to be easier to get around the corner, so you won't have to worry about that situation. So keep watching. I'll probably end part 2 here, as I can only upload about 16 to 17 minutes at a time, or it takes forever. So it's looking great. I hope you're coiling along with me and creating your own Twisted Sister. And I'm not even sure what that's called, but we started calling it Twisted Sister, so I'm going to keep calling it that. Okay, thanks for watching.